All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're taking a look at one of the world's oldest and frankly most fascinating industries, India's leather sector. We're going to trace its journey from ancient workshops all the way to its projected future as a massive multi-billion-dollar global powerhouse.
So just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're dealing with here, let me start with a question. How far back do you think this craft really goes? Are we talking a few centuries, maybe 1,000 years?
Get this, the answer is pretty staggering. The leather craft in India is so ancient, it's actually older than iconic landmarks like the Roman Colosseum. In fact, the earliest evidence we have of this kind of work goes back a full 5,000 years. It's incredible, right?
And that deep, deep history is exactly where we need to begin. You see, to really understand where this industry is going, you first have to appreciate where it's been. This isn't just about economics, it's a story of incredible evolution. Okay, so this timeline really shows a few huge leaps forward. It all starts 5,000 years ago, right? For literally millennia, it was a traditional craft. Then, bam! 1857 hits, and British industrial methods come in and just completely change the game. Fast forward to World War II, the demand for things like boots and belts caused the workforce to grow by something like 800%. It was a massive boom. Then you get the modern brand era kicking off with Hidesign in '78, and finally, the '90s opened the floodgates for global exports. Every single step was a crucial building block.
So, with that whole backstory, what does the industry look like today? I mean, what does it all translate to in actual hard numbers?
As of right now in 2024, we are looking at a market valued at a cool $13.4 billion US. That is a major player on the global stage. But, and this is the key point, this is just the starting line for where this industry is about to go.
And that brings us to the real heart of our explainer today. What are the specific engines that are going to power this industry's growth over the next decade? It's not just one thing, let me tell you. It's a really powerful mix of different factors.
So here they are, the 8 key drivers really pushing things forward. You've got everything from growing export markets to a new focus on sustainability, plus strong government support and new tech. Every one of these plays a big role. But, when you talk to analysts, they all agree that 2 of these drivers are the real, honest-to-goodness game changers.
And this quote just nails it. Think of these as the twin engines on a rocket ship, right? You've got a massive, newly wealthy domestic consumer base on one side, and the digital platforms that can reach them on the other. So let's break those 2 down. First, let's talk about the people. By 2030, India's middle class is set to be over 600 million strong. I mean, that is just a monumental shift. It's creating hundreds of millions of new customers with more money to spend, and they're looking for premium, high-quality stuff. For a lot of them, leather goods aren't just things to buy. They're a status symbol, a real mark of quality and aspiration. So where is all this new spending power? Well, this chart is super revealing. A full 70% of demand for leather goods right now comes from cities. And with India expected to be almost 40% urban by 2030, this concentration of spending is just going to get more intense. It creates these dense, high-value markets that are way easier for brands to target.
Now for that second engine, the digital revolution. Online retail is growing at nearly 9% every single year. This is a total game changer because it just cracks the whole market wide open. E-commerce makes premium leather goods accessible to people far beyond the big metro areas, reaching right into those smaller Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, where all this new consumer demand is absolutely exploding.
Okay, so we've got the history, we've got the market today, and we've got these 2 powerhouse growth engines. So let's put it all together and see what this really means for the future. What kind of market size are we actually talking about here? I mean, with all these powerful trends pushing it forward, where could the industry really be by 2035? This table lays out 3 possible futures, all based on different growth rates. A conservative guess, maybe if the global economy slows down, still puts the market at $22 billion. Not bad at all. On the flip side, an optimistic scenario, say if exports go wild and domestic demand just booms, could push the industry toward an incredible $38 billion. But the most likely path, according to the experts, is right there in the middle.
Yeah, the expert consensus really points to a sustained growth rate of about 7 to 8%. This is seen as the most realistic path because it nicely balances that massive upward push from the middle class in e-commerce against potential challenges, like global competition. And this balanced growth would create an industry worth nearly $30 billion by 2035.
And that leaves us with one final fascinating question. We've seen the most likely projection, that nearly $30 billion figure, but with the incredible force of 600 million new consumers and a digital marketplace connecting them to the world, is that optimistic nearly $40 billion future really that far out of reach? Now that is something to think about. Thanks for joining us.